Saxon Algebra 1, Lesson 105. Greetings, students. We're beginning our third week of the 6 weeks between spring break and summer break. That is very exciting. I'm going to cross this off right now because we're getting ready to do it. Caleb, I did not chat with you end of last week, so I did not get a chance to do a review problem with you. So please shoot me a text letting me know what lesson you're done through, whether your mom signed off on the previous weeks. Well, I guess by now you're done with this. So send me a picture of the sign-off page, and then we'll catch up on your review problem this week. Don't blow me off 2 weeks in a row. That I might have to take that personally. 1 week is fine. All right, this lesson is preparation for another lesson that's coming soon. And the lesson that's coming soon is super useful and valuable. I'll tell you right now that the 4 girls who are getting ready to take the Accuplacer, who are your 2 sisters, Jayla and Abby, and then Laura and Vivian Rice, they all had questions on this lesson and the one that goes with it. They didn't remember it. So I am going to make this memorable for you guys. That sounds vaguely threatening. I don't mean it like that. Okay. We're going to factor something that looks hard but actually isn't. Remember, factoring is just like undistributing. It's the reverse. And when we are factoring, we're looking for letters and numbers that 2 terms have in common. Now, what looks really hard about this and might be freaking you out, although trust me, it's easy. There are 4 terms here. How are we going to factor this? How do you factor 4 things at once? By grouping them. So what we're going to do, we're going to leave them in the order that they are, but we're going to underline the first 2 and underline the second 2. We are going to trust John that he gave these to us in a way that is reasonable, and he's not going to let us down. So I'm looking at just the first pair, not those. I don't care about those yet. Just these, and I'm looking to see what can I factor out of both of these. What letters and numbers do they have in common? And I see they both have an A, right? So I'm going to factor out the A, and then I write in parentheses what's left behind of each term after I pull the A out. XY for the first one, right? Minus 4. Okay, that wasn't too bad, right? That was reasonable. Now we're going to ignore this part, and we're going to do the very same thing here. I am going to put a plus sign there, right? And we look here and see, okay, here I'm just even going to cover it up because that's distracting me. What can we factor out of both of these terms? Just a B, right? And what we have left in the, here I'm going to circle the B's. That helps me see what's left. I have an XY, and then there's a minus sign, and then there's just a 4. Aha! All right, so we did factor those by grouping the first 2 and the second 2, and look what interesting thing happened. And P.S., spoilers, it will always happen like this. We got the same thing inside the parentheses both times. If you don't get the same thing, that means you probably screwed it up somewhere, so go back and see if you can find it. What we do for the very last step, I call it an art project because there's no math involved. We're just rearranging things. We're going to take these 2 pieces and we're going to make a binomial out of them. And then we're going to take this binomial that we created both times and we're going to write that right there. This is our final answer. This is the factored form of this original expression. Okay? And just so you know, we're going to use this factoring by grouping technique in a bigger problem. Okay, so that's why we're practicing this now, is so when we get to it later, you'll be like, oh, that's easy. I know how to do that. That factoring by grouping shiz, that's easy. Okay, and there are only 2 problems in this lesson, so let's do the other one. Factor, and oh, I just wanted to remind you, this is a great example of how factoring we can see is the opposite of distributing, because once we factor, we could distribute and get our original terms back, couldn't we? That's how you know you did it right. Okay, factoring is the opposite of distributing. Ready? Let's try it again. Make sure I did it right while you copy. Okay. Now, once again, let me stress, don't worry about the order. Just trust John that he set it up so it will work out. All right? First two, second two. We ignore those and we just look at these. What can I factor out of these first two terms? Just an A. And I'm left with, it really helps me and helps students who are just learning to circle the letter that you're factoring out, because then it's really easy to see what's left, right? C plus 2D. All right, and then here, I can factor out the B's. I can also factor out a 2, can't I? I can factor out the 2, and I'll pull, this is going to be 2 times 2. I'm going to factor one of those. All right, so I break the 4 down into 2 times 2, show that I'm going to factor one of the 2's out, because I'm going to do plus 2B. And that shows me I'll have one, I'll pull 1 2 out, and then I'll have the other one left behind. So this becomes C plus 2D, right? There's the unfactored 2, and there's the D. All right, once again, yay, we did it right. John does not pull any tricks. To the very best of my knowledge, there are no problems where he tricks you and you don't get this to come out right. It'll always match. And then art project, A plus 2B, quantity, times quantity, C plus 2D. And that's all you have to do. You don't have to take it any farther than that. Yay! You guys know how to factor by grouping? No, that's right. That's the answer. Let me just double check. I thought John was sneaking a third one in on me and I was going to cry. I mean, not really. I could do these all day. I think they're fun. C plus 2D, A plus 2B. Beautiful. Okay. So here's the other thing. If you really want to be an annoying brother, you can brag to your sisters about how good you are at this. You won't do that because you're nice brothers. I know that. That's the end of lesson 105. Thank you. Goodbye.